Howdy, I'm Ben Solak. February's in the books? When's the offseason, baby? Welcome to the play sheet. The opening script, Steelers country, let's steal. Let's just become steel. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2024 NFL season. New league year is almost begun. It's technically still legal tampering, but whatever. Players are moving around, teams get ready for the draft boards. It's a hoot and a holler. At this time, we know where most significant free agents are going. Kirk Cousins is a Falcon, Brian Burns is a Giant, Saquon Barkley's an Eagle, so on and so forth. But the first big domino to fall fell before legal tampering even began, and that was Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson getting cut. Now, Wilson was cut by the Broncos with 5 years left on his deal. 5 enormous years left on his deal. In fact, he'll hit the Broncos cap with $85 million of dead cap, of spent money, which more than doubles the previous largest dead cap hit of $40.5 million. Which, by the way, this is bananas. And we need to, we can't just say that, $85 million. They're paying him $85 million to not play for them. They paid him $85 million to go away. I'll go away for $85,000. At any point, I would leave anywhere I am for a fraction of the Russell Wilson money. So of that $85 million dead money, the Broncos owe Russ $39 million of it this year. It means that Russ is making $39 million no matter what. Accordingly, he could sign pretty much anywhere for a veteran minimum deal, $1.2 million. And the Broncos would be on the hook for the remaining $37.8 million. And that's exactly what happened when Russell Wilson signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So on surface level, this is pretty handy for the Steelers, right? You got a starting quarterback, Russell Wilson, who's only going to cost you $1.2 million. That is objectively good business. That is getting value, pennies on the dollar. I acknowledge that. I respect that. Here's the problem. I don't think that Pittsburgh is in a position we're getting decent quarterback play for $1.2 million, good value, surplus value, actually has an impact on their franchise at all. And it starts with Russ just not being good enough at quarterbacking right now. Let's talk numbers. Of the 35 quarterbacks last year who threw at least 200 passes, Russell Wilson was 25th in EPA per dropback and 22nd in success rate, below average. Descriptively, he had a very tough and weird season. He was 28th in air yards per attempt. He was 27th in explosive play rate. He was 28th in sack rate. In other words, he didn't throw the ball very far down the field. He didn't create a lot of explosive plays, and he took a ton of sacks. Also, only Justin Fields held onto the football longer, which means that Russ is holding onto the ball to not create big plays, which is not how quarterbacking is supposed to work. The longer you hold on to it, the more big plays you better give me, right? Routes are developing down the field. Russ was all of the bad for none of the good last year with that. Now, with a high sack rate often comes a high scramble rate, and Russ was 7th in the league last year in scramble rate. Scrambles were generally good, but he was 18th in EPA per scramble, right? Average. Even his scrambles aren't giving you juice for the squeeze. Now, it's easy to look at Russ's numbers last year and just kind of wave them away. Be like, okay, well, new head coach Sean Payton just didn't like working with Russ. It didn't give him an offense that he could operate well in. There was, of course, famously Payton coming to Russ middle of the season and saying, hey, waive your injury guarantees. I'm going to bench you. They had a very hostile relationship. So you can try to wave it all away if you like. I don't think that explanation is sufficient. Let's go to play action. That's the play action sound. So over the last 2 years of football, I would say even more than that, going back to the end of the Seattle era, Russ has been one of the worst pocket managing quarterbacks in the league, right? He creates pressure where there shouldn't have been pressure, sacks where there shouldn't have been sacks, doesn't throw routes that are open on time. He from the pocket, single-handedly, just nukes plays, just ruins them. And that's not going away in Pittsburgh. It's not leaving tomorrow, all right? This is late in the season against the Patriots. Blitz off the edge, picked up very nicely by the back, and then Russ just loses his mind in a completely clean and healthy pocket. This is a very frustrating play. One, because Jerry Jeudy is open on what should be the primary read, right? This goes vertical here, and then this cuts in the middle of the field late. But off of the blitz, we're going to see Kyle Duggar here climb and become the deep middle safety. So now you have Jeudy operating into space. He's going to have inside leverage on this route, and there's going to be no droppers who get the requisite depth to take this route away. This isn't just oh, he's open. This is oh my gosh, we got exactly what we wanted. And you hit this in stride, and you have space. He has to turn and get involved in tackle. This isn't just net good. This is net excellent. Throw the pocket. Throw this. And you can't say no to that. That's very, very crazy. Even if you do say no to it, you're going to eventually get the tight end working into this vacuum, into this space. So if you don't like this, then all right, work this way in the pocket, try to tether this defender down and throw this. Like you have multiple options here. You cannot behave like this. End of view. All right, here's our pressure look. Snap the football. I don't like. Look at the pocket, dude. It's unbelievable quarterbacking. The other thing about Russ, and this goes back to like 4 last years of football for a while, is he will not throw in the middle of the field. He will not throw in breaking patterns. He doesn't see it well. He doesn't layer the throws well between coverages. He does not like them. And in the modern NFL, which throws the intermediate middle of the field like so much, this is just a paralyzing inability. It removes a key Jenga piece from like at least half of, if not most of NFL offenses today. Concept-wise, they're going to run Jerry Jeudy through, and then they're going to go Cortland Sutton on the dig behind, right? Javonte Williams is out to the flat. There's going to be a hard play action fake right here. You run this play action fake. You run this guy 12 personnel under center to pull these players forward to throw this window. That is the whole design here. That's the whole idea. Run the film, what happens? Play action fake. Russ does not look at Sutton, right? He's looking at Javonte. I think he's looking at Sutton right now. But if you were looking at Sutton, you'd want to be seeing this here. Instead, he's just visioned this way, and he's going to dump this off to Javonte right now, like in rhythm, right? I mean, pressure is not close to him. He dumps this off, Javonte falls over. It's 3rd and 10. End zone view, I want you to see this open up. Okay, snap the football. Play action fake, top of the drop. Here we are. We have Alex Anzalone, who sat down. He's sunk right here, and he's underneath this, right? So if you're running the Jerry Jeudy curl, he's in that window. It's a good job by Anzalone. This is young linebacker Jack Campbell. This is a rookie. He, landmark-wise, right, he probably needs to end up somewhere right about here. But he's got his body, he's got his hips and his shoulders open this direction, and he's dropping this way. And so when Jeudy continues to run through, right, he's going to run off screen, he's going to pull this safety with him. Cortland Sutton comes in right here. That's Cortland Sutton's going to come in on the screen in about a second. The first landmark you might throw this ball to is like right here, right, between these two linebackers. But because Campbell is so far committed to moving this direction, take away that first window, that's like right in front of the hatch there, all you have to do if you're Russ is just hitch, right? Keep your body this way, keep you moving this way, but hitch twice, and then throw this behind it, right? Once you get this picture right here, dude, look Campbell's not getting square. Look at what you can throw. He's going to come in right here, hit him on this logo. Jeudy continues to pull this safety. This is the explosive play. Hit him in stride, he goes. This is the explosive play that Russ refuses to give you. He just chooses. We did a play sheet on this in like week 2 of 2022 with him and Geno Smith. Russ refuses to give you this explosive play, which is like integral to every offense that is stealing stuff from Shanahan. He just won't give it to you. He just looks left the whole way, takes Anzalone to the check down, gives it to Javonte Williams, and it's a 2-yard loss. Look at Sutton, dude. Right here. If you just rhythm and drive, just hitch and put it on him in stride. Like you cannot say no to this route, man. You can. When I watch Russell Wilson over the last couple of seasons with the Broncos, like this is what I see. Like the incredible moonshots are certainly still there. There's tight window throws. There's like some escapes from pressure, but in general, I see a player who takes good pockets and ruins them, takes open receivers, open concepts, and ruins those. Like he is a drain on the design of and the success of the offense. And now he's going to Pittsburgh, where like that's really going to be an issue. From a talent perspective, like the Denver to Pittsburgh transition actually has some nice through lines, right? George Pickens can do a lot of what Cortland Sutton does for you outside of the numbers, vertical jump balls. He also runs good in breaking routes. He can make big physical catches in the tight areas, short underneath stuff. You have Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris, and Jalen Warren can be part of a good running game. They can both catch the ball out of the backfield. Russ threw the ball a lot to the backs this year. Like there are some connections. However, the new offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh is Arthur Smith, who is the previous Falcons head coach. And before that, he was the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator. And this guy lives on under center play action, which is good for us, to throw to the intermediate middle of the field, which Russ will not do. All 3 of Smith's starting quarterbacks with the Falcons, Desmond Ridder at 23, Marcus Mariota at 22, Matt Ryan at 21, were top 10 in the league in intermediate middle throw rate, right? Like these guys threw there at an above average rate. The same was true of Ryan Tannehill in his 2 seasons when Smith was the offensive coordinator. This offense, the whole structure, the whole point is to yank the backers down and throw intermediate middle. And Russ has shown us time and time and time again that he won't do that. Smith has tried to like solve these problems and done some different stuff. And with Mariota, he rolled him out a lot and he would throw a lot of deep bombs. The problem is that like, well, that sounds good on paper for Russ. He isn't what he's been athletically. He's a mid-30s quarterback. He doesn't get away from pressure the way that he used to. Last year against Houston, they're going to go hard play action rollout. They're going to leave Will Anderson unblocked. Russ tries to make a miss and he can't, right? And you can say, oh, like, Ben, this is super unfair. Will Anderson, he's such a good athlete. Yeah, this is the guy that teams play. They play young, 20-something edge rushers who are good and fast and long. And if you're going to be a rollout team, you need a quarterback to be able to beat that guy in space sometimes. End zone view. So much of Russ with the Seahawks was like he's a thick build, right? He's a dense guy, so he can survive contact like this. He's not surviving it anymore. Against the Jets, free rusher, Quincy Williams. Russ isn't running away from these guys anymore, right? He loses the football dude. This gets picked up, scoop and score a touchdown. We got, oh, Ben, it's not fair. It's really hard to run away from Quincy Williams. Yeah, man. But like, Russ made his career out of getting away from these guys, out of being able to conjure these magical escapes. He's not doing it the way that he used to. End zone view. Watch how laissez-faire Russ is with the ball, man. Like just watch him try to giddy up. Watch him try to explode and accelerate. He doesn't have juice like he used to. And the big problem, and this goes back to the Josh Uche sack, is that he doesn't know it. Hard play action against the Bills. There's the fake. All right, get outside of the pocket. That's nice. What? No, like, this is Kyler behavior. This is like maybe Lamar behavior gets away with this. And the thing is, like, look, like, okay, no one's open. Like, absolutely. Like concept wise, this is chalk. I mean, I say no one's open. There's a guy in the intermediate middle of the field you could probably try to throw the football to, but I understand why he doesn't, right? Like this one I think is a very defensible turn down. You have the safety driving on this. That's I get it, whatever. Like it would be a bad idea to throw this, given the way that Rustin's throwing in the middle of the field. What is a way worse idea is doing this. Russ is not elusive anymore. He doesn't survive contact to get away from guys anymore. So, okay, let's be a rollout heavy team, blacks heavy team. Yeah, he's going to lose in space for you. And so athletically, he isn't what he used to be, but he still play style wise is the same way. And that's just a recipe for disaster. So you could argue that like just getting away from Sean Payton, getting away from like all the expectations in Denver, the big trade, the huge contract, like Russell just be on a minimum deal. He can just kind of like play more free. I guess I would not want him to play more free, but just with like fewer expectations, with less pressure. You can argue that's going to be good for him. And I hear that. I do. And I also think that like even with all of his issues last year, I think he's a better starting quarterback than Kenny Pickett. I think he's a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett was, and the Steelers improved at quarterback. That's great. The problem is these games are so marginal, right? Like between Pickett and Russ, you're just hoping that one guy breaks into like the top 20 quarterback rankings next season. Like I think Russ, like in the best world, Russ is the 15th best quarterback in the league. And like, all right, you added him for super cheap, but Kenny Pickett was already super cheap. It's not like you really needed to cut corners at the quarterback position. The Steelers are the 5th cheapest team right now at quarterback. And after the Commanders and the Patriots draft a guy in April, they're going to be the 3rd cheapest team at quarterback. You weren't, like struggling for room here. You already had a cheap guy who's probably not that good in Kenny Pickett. You had just another cheap guy who's probably not that good in Russell Wilson. Yes, he's a little bit cheaper. Yes, he's a little bit better. But you're going from 8 wins to 8.5 wins, man. I don't think that doesn't move me. It doesn't move my spirit. I'm sorry. Now, the bigger swings that were available were also far from perfect, right? Kirk Cousins is 35, coming off an Achilles injury, going to demand $45 million a year is what he got from the Falcons. And hey, like he's probably not a top 10 quarterback. Justin Fields has the same pocket management, run around, scramble around, cause problems issue that Russell Wilson does. And he gives you much better peak plays, but he also you have to trade for him and he's more expensive. You have to extend him. Like there were problems with the other guys, but at least they represented like higher tail outcomes. Like if you hit on them, it is meaningful to your team. And right now, that's what Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin needs. There is like vocal frustration and a little bit of irritation with the fact that all the Steelers ever do with Tomlin is go 9-8, appear in the wild card round, and then lose emphatically to a team that's way better than them, right? This team hasn't won a playoff game in a while. There is urgency for Tomlin to not just, overachieve with a mid-roster and show up in January, but actually win one of these suckers. Russell Wilson is not moving the needle enough for that. Russell Wilson is the most we're trying to go 500 quarterback that ever existed, right? Okay, he's super cheap. He's acceptably mid most of the time. We're going to go 9-8 again. Like this is same old for a Pittsburgh team that seemingly like didn't want to be same old. I don't get it at all. it's a low risk move, right? Like it is $1.2 million for a guy who's going to start for a decade. So like it's tough to get too mad about it, to get worked up about it, but it is extremely tough to get off the couch for it. I mean, like this is as milk toast, as beige of a move as I can remember. I don't think this is going to meaningfully help the Steelers at all in 2024. And that'll do it for us here on the Play Sheet. Welcome to the 2024 NFL offseason. We're going to be back on our weekly cadence. We'll be doing episodes breaking down free agency and the best fits and some of the meaningful quarterback moves. We're talking about draft prospects, doing our quarterback evaluations like we did last year. You should check those out. We got them all right. It's going to be fun. So subscribe, and thank you, Corey McConnell, for producing the episode. And I don't remember how to do these outros, kind of. So just like the video.